With Peer, for the press, maybe this is just one of the stories that has played out in the last 8 months. In the last 8 months, we have seen targeted killings of civilians, especially the Kashmiri Pandit community, especially the migrant workers and anyone who is in uniform. But for Rahul's family and for the Kashmiri Pandit community, this is not just another story. This is something that they have had to live with for the last many years. And by the looks of it, they will have to live with this till they don't know how long.
Shreyaji, thank you very much for having me on your show with a heavy heart. And today it's a very disturbing day because you see one more person is killed. You know, he's a second generation Kashmiri Pandit. His parents had come and were living in Jammu. Then they trusted the administration and they sent their son to work in the Kashmir, and he again got killed. So the first thing which is very important is history repeats itself. On your show, on News18 and on your show, on your channel and other channels, I have been always maintaining that unless and until we have Israel-style settlements, no Kashmiri Pandit or Hindu is safe there because it is all done by Pakistan. It is done by locals. It's a local, overground worker who is turned into a terrorist who will go and kill anybody at will. It's not humanly possible to give protection and security to all. But at the same time, if we want a normalcy to return, let these settlements be for a few years. When the things arrive, then the people can move out of there. Unless and until we do that, it will continue happening like this. That is the unfortunate thing. Today we have done one more mistake. I mean, always saying there's no difference between an overground worker, a terrorist sympathizer, a terrorist facilitator, and a terrorist. This is what it is done. Anybody with a gun, with a pistol can go and kill a Kashmiri Pandit and Hindu. Because by doing that, you send two messages. First, he's a Hindu, you kill him. Second, he's a Kashmiri Pandit, you kill him. And you send the message to Pandit community. And you send the message to all over India. Look, Hindus are not welcome here. No Hindu is safe here. This explains why a Paswan who was selling golgappes and making 200 rupees a day was last time killed. This explains why a Sikh lady who was a principal was killed. This explains why Deepak Chand was killed. And this explains why now Rahul Bhat, who is a government employee, in a government office is again killed, picked up, chosen and killed on the directions of Pakistan. And the people who have done it are locals and the people who have facilitated are at locals. This is the call we as a country has to name, because how long can innocents like Deepak keep on dying? What are we going to achieve? How long can we continue this? It's a second generation of betrayal. First generation, his father left the valley, he was saved. He sent his son there, he lost his son. I rest my case now.
Vivek, Srivastava, it's all very well to blame Pakistan. Of course, blame it. That is where the funding is coming from. That is where the radicalization is coming from. I get that. You blame Pakistan. But the Kashmiri community has to take responsibility as well. It is their young men who are picking up the gun. By day, they are bankers. By day, they are teachers. By day, they are shopkeepers. And by night, they become terrorists. They need to take up responsibility as well.
Okay. See, first of all, it is very sad whatever happened. And we were watching the package that you were running just before we started talking. And I agree with the demands of the Kashmiri Pandits regarding the compensation and whatever is possible from the side of the government. There has been a lathi charge on the Kashmiri Pandits today. A couple of them were bleeding.
No, lathi charge nahi tha, tear gas tha. Anyhow.
Tear gas tha. Like a few guys said that they were bleeding, so that is why I was quoting it. So this is again very unfortunate because now you see, basically I wonder where is Mr. Vivek Agnihotri, where is Mr. Anupam Kher, where is the Honorable Prime Minister of India who was the poster boy of Kashmir files. There was so much of rhetoric, and in debates I used to say that look, all this dramabazi and filmbazi is different. Work on the ground level and try to rehabilitate, try to give security. Then we were laughed upon. Now this is what is actually happening again. So the central government has failed in protecting the Kashmiri Pandits. It has failed in maintaining law and order over there. Removing 370 has achieved nothing. Removing 35 has again achieved nothing. We knew it is not going to achieve anything. And that is why the left was against it. So the fact of the matter is that you see problems like Punjab, problems like Tamil Elam, problems like Ulfa in Assam, problems like, Mizo front, we had problems in Nagaland. These problems cannot be solved through gun by the police and the army and the paramilitary. They can be solved only by rehabilitation and only by talks.
Talks
in which
who?
All the parties have to be involved.
Talks with who?
Talks with everyone. Talks with everyone.
Including Pakistan?
No. Oh, see, listen to me. Now it is very easy to blame me as unpatriotic, anti-India.
No. Mr. Vivek Srivastava, I'll tell you one thing. Whatever you say, whatever opinion you express here, I'm the last one to call you unpatriotic, because I think every Indian is patriotic. And just because you have an opinion contrary to the mainstream doesn't make you anti-national or unpatriotic. So I rest my case there. To me, you and Sumit and everyone who's on this channel is a patriot. Go ahead.
Thank you. All I'm trying to say is, when we had the Punjab problem, I did my engineering from there, okay? And I'm from UP, but I went over there because I was selected through a competition. The Punjab problem was going on; it was just decreasing. But I saw, although the police was taking strong action, there were strong rehabilitation measures. Families and young boys who had gone wrong, they were being brought back into the mainstream. Okay, erring police officers were being booked. So you have to make the community sit and understand that India belongs to all. It cannot happen by force.
But for 30 years, you know, I'll let Sumit P respond to that. But Mr. Srivastava, for the last 30 years, this attempt has been made, na?
Yeah, I mean, see, has Israel been able to solve the Palestinian problem? It has not been able to solve.
But Punjab has managed to fix its terrorism problem.
Only, not because of the police. Only through talks. Only by making the people join the...
It was KPS Gill. It was not talks, it was KPS Gill. The problem here has been, Shriyaji, you know, we have been complicit with one thing. Terrorist or terrorist, we forget the leaves, branches, and the stem and the root of the tree. Terrorist is only the fruit. Unless and until you attack all the 5 parameters, we will not get rid of terrorism. I want to make one point here. Now, in UP or in any other state, if somebody burns a bus or somebody damages a government property, we confiscate his property and pay for it. Now, in Kashmir, when these terrorists are doing that, why there is not a collateral, why there is not an implication, why not there's a personal ramification? Hasn't the time come to attach their properties? Hasn't the time come, let their families also pay for it? Because if they keep on killing people like Rahul Bhat, who doesn't deserve to die? By no means Rahul Bhat deserves to die, but he was killed because he was a Hindu, he was a Kashmiri, and this 30-year reconciliation has failed. We have people in Pakistan. Now there is a new element of Jihad, K2. Khalistani, you know, this Khalistanis and Kashmiris working together in Punjab. We have a ISI who is active, we have Pakistani elements who are active, and we have their roots, and we have their Pyadas and Pawns who are active in Valley, and they are doing on the behest of Pakistan. I will ask you one question. Why only this young boy was killed? Because this was killed to send a message. That's why people like us are talking and elaborating this. There's no point of talking. 99% people you can settle by development. 0.1% who has a gun in his hand, Shiaji, will kill a person in uniform from a J&K police, from Indian Army, or a person like our friend, our brother who has died just now. People like Rahul will keep on dying unless and until we have some very strong measures and things.
People
very strong
with guns
are there to kill people.
Article 370 was that very strong measure, na? Despite that, see what has happened in the last 8 months. So the what has the abrogation of Article 370 achieved is a question that will be asked today.
Shreyaji, you know, after 370, the terrorists have been killed, the mechanism, the arms have been kind of taken away, they've been dismantled. That's why they are resorting to overground workers using guns. There has been only one mistake when we were seeing a terrorist as a terrorist and others not kind of terrorists. If we see everybody as a terrorist, that solves the problem, like it was done in Punjab. Because today, you know, these people are a teacher in the day, raat ko ye terrorist ban jata hai. Din mein he is a government employee, raat ko ye terrorist ban jata hai. Unless and until this person has ramifications going to his family now, the time to confiscate their properties, the time to attach their assets, because these people cannot be, you know, running with the hare and hunting with the hounds. That is what is happening there, and they are bringing down all the efforts. It is because of the successful army forces, operations of the army, they are resorting to overground workers using pistols to be turned as terrorists. Where are those hardcore terrorists? They are all eliminated. Now the time, I'm saying again, ma'am, I've been saying this for years. Israel-style settlement is the only way to keep Kashmiri Pandits safe in the valley and Hindus. Unless and until we do that, they are just string us. Anybody can come and do it. How many PSOs? How many people will deploy?